want to thank everybody for your attendance this afternoon to honor Christina's life, and we're here to share memories of Christina and to support this family and to support one another. We appreciate you making the trip out during this time. There will be time in our ceremony for friends and family to share thoughts. Just to keep that in mind, we will note when that time comes. I think right now, Marlo has written some poems about her mom.
Christina, a haiku by Marla. Christina was great. She was a mother and wife. She had great friends. And then this is an acrostic poem. Christina is loved, helpful, really awesome, intelligent, smart, terrific family and friends. I know she had a good life. Not just good, but awesome.
Thank you, Marlo. Christina Aurora Bain of Austin, Texas, passed at 2:53 in the morning on Monday, February 8th, 2021, at age 37. She died from complications from colon cancer, initially diagnosed in 2015. She is survived by her husband, Wesley Bain, and her daughter, Marlo, her father, Jan DeRoos, her mother, Marie DeRoos, and her sisters, Alex and Adriana DeRoos. Though born in Houston, she grew up in Ithaca, New York. She attended Cornell University before moving to Austin in 2005 to attend grad school in evolutionary biology at the University of Texas. Christina was never personally fond of the warrior motif for describing cancer, but the truth is that she fought it like hell all the same. Not just against the cancer itself, but to make sure that whatever time she had left here was given meaning. She wanted to live a life of positive change and no regrets. She worked on numerous social groups like Brentwood Crestview's anti-racism group. She also served on the Livestrong Cancer Institute's Young Adult Cancer Advisory Board, helping to provide insight on care needs for the brand new cancer center in Austin, where she was one of the earliest patients. The latter allowed for many unique opportunities, including speaking at South by Southwest and a collaboration with Austin Classical Guitar to compose a song about her journey through treatment called Miles to Go. And we have the pleasure to hear that later on this afternoon. Christina was an avid crafter who built a huge community through knitting, sewing, and weaving groups. She worked her dream job for the website Ravelry, a knitting community where she met many friends and professional acquaintances. She was extremely proud of hand making her own clothing. She shared her journey through cancer and how it affected her crafting ability and decisions on her personal blog, Bearing the Weight, as well as in several articles and podcast interviews. She wanted her life to have low environmental impact and found crafting to be a wonderful way to create personal, lasting clothes using natural fibers. Christina was a fiercely loyal and loving wife and mother. She met her husband doing improvisational theater as part of Austin's arts community, where she performed in several troupes for years. She was very close with her child and always looked for creative ways to work around the limitations caused by her disease and to spend quality time with her. Together, they crafted many happy memories, watching and discussing storytelling in media, running a family book club, and playing communal video games. It was a home founded very much in humor, partnership, and teamwork. And obviously, due to the pandemic, this is a very limited gathering. There are so many more who would like to come than we can safely accommodate. So there will be a larger remembrance service on a date to be determined in the future once the pandemic has passed, so that all her friends and family will be able to gather safely and celebrate her life together. And in lieu of flowers, and since Christina and her family own cats who would just knock them over and eat them anyway, we ask that you please consider a donation instead to the Live Strong Cancer Institute divisions of the Austin Dell Medical School at the University of Texas, or to Worries and Wonders. And there are links to these organizations on our website. If you need any help finding them, just please ask. And as I mentioned at this time, we're here to share our thoughts and memories. Christina's father, Jan, is going to begin. And you can come forward, or you can stand where you are, whatever you prefer. So Wesley and I were challenged with having to write some words, and Wesley wrote that obituary, and it's beautiful. So my words are some repeat of that. We did them independently, but so I'm Dad. I want to talk to you about Christina today. She started as our Bambino, but quickly became our little Beano, and she was Beano for about 5 years. And her childhood was dance and soccer and gymnastics and science, and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? College was biology and genetics and some wonderful improv. Her community included a great set of friends from Kappa Delta, a wonderful set of friends that support and laugh with each other to this day. The Greek system has its issues, but her community was one of the best communities that she ever got involved with. Her graduate program was her transition to Texas, and her introduction to the most wonderful man, Leslie Bain. They met soon after her arrival in Texas. Their love for laughter brought them together. They made their home in Austin, and their love for each other has grown. Marla Rose came 9 years ago, and will continue her legacy for generations to come. The reason we're all here today is to celebrate her short life. Her time with us was interrupted by a devastating battle with cancer. And while cancer gave her inner strength, it took an accelerating toll on her physically. We spent the last 2 months in her second trial, the culmination of over 5 years of her struggle. The lessons we've all learned through this is cancer-free is the goal, but wasn't in Christina's lexicon. Living day to day means finding the joy that each day can bring, and Christina was outstanding with that. Cancer is not a reason to stop making your mark. Christina showed her mark on the world through her work at Ravelry, her family, her blog, her friends, her work at the Live Strong Clinic in Austin, and her overall joie de vivre. We miss her more than words can say, so please help join me in saying her name and asking her to rest in peace. Christina.
Christina,
Rest in peace.
rest in peace.
I think right now her friend Jackie is going to come share some words.
So it's been a tough 6 months for me because I lost my grandmother this summer. She was one of my best friends. And Christina is the person who got me through that grief. And it's bizarre because it feels like she's now going to get me through this grief. And she's just, you guys know, she's just giving person. But one thing that she said to me that was really important and really valuable is never stop talking about her. Never stop saying her name, never stop telling her story, never stop living those memories. And it's the greatest gift I think we can give each other, and it's certainly the greatest gift that we can give a family to tell them all the ways, even the little ones. So for those of you who knit, you know that you can carry two yarns together, right? And that fabric becomes better, right? It becomes stronger and it becomes a fusion of those two things. So carry her with you in that way and help me remember her and never stop talking about her. Thank you.
If anybody else would like to either come forward or just to speak where you're standing, now's the time to do so. We have plenty of time.
I'm Adriana. I'm the middle sister. We didn't always get along while growing up, but I still love her. I'm a knitter too, and I would always brag to my knitting friends that I knew somebody who worked in Ravelry, and I would always use that to get some knitting street cred. While growing up, she and I are both short, and she was actually, even though I'm younger than her, we actually ended up being the same height for basically all our lives. And when people would see us, they would think that we were twins, and they'd get really excited and ask, and then when we said no, they wouldn't believe us. And then when we had them ask who was older, they would guess me, and Christina did not care for that. I remember there was the blizzard of '93 in Ithaca, and I just remember walking home from elementary school, and all I did was follow her footsteps, and I would have gone home otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the youngest sister, and Christy would always introduce me as her baby sister because we're 15 years apart, and I don't remember how I felt about it when I was younger, but when I got older, I really liked that you would introduce me like that. And when I was little, I really liked Dora the Explorer, so everyone in my family had a character, and she was Map. And as I got older, that just became more and more fitting because I always wanted to be like her. Even to this day, I want to live a life she'll be proud of, and I want to be just like her. And she was my map, and she guided me to where I needed to go. And I think my favorite to least favorite memory is when she got married. I cried because I didn't want to share her with anyone. And I'm actually really happy that there's so many people here, and that I ended up sharing her with so many people, and that so many people loved her. And now when I wake up every morning and I look in the mirror, I can still see her because I can see her in my face. So I think that'll be something I get for the rest of my life.
Well, Christina, the way I got to know Christina was she became really a founder of the Live Strong Cancer Institute. And many of us got to know her long even before she was a patient with us. And, I'm so glad to hear this idea about never stopping saying her name, never forgetting her, because everything about our clinic is Christina. It has Christina written all over it. And, I think that she affected so many people, and just the fact that she was so selfless and continuing to help people when she was having pain with her disease, that she inspired all of us. And you know, it's just so hard to let go of who she was. But I feel like that she will live forever in what we now call the Calm Clinic at the LCI. And she'll never be forgotten, ever. So, you know, I feel it's like, thank you for having her come into our lives.
Is there anybody else?
Yeah, I wanted to share something.
Go ahead, you go first.
Sorry, I've got Emily, who's one of her clinicians on the line, who really wanted to be here, so I hope you could hear. But I pulled up the last text message that I sent Christina. I'm Becca. I'm also one of the employees at the Livestrong Cancer Institute, and together Robin and I oversee the Young Adult Advisory Board. And I met Christina before I was even working at the LCI, and she was our first board member. She was the very first person to start this incredible thing that we have now grown. So I sent her this text message, and I had the pleasure of being able to do some yoga on Zoom with her, yoga and meditation for many weeks as she got closer to the end of her life. I'm also a yoga teacher. And so I got to share some of my hippy dippy spirit with her. And it was a little foreign to her in some ways, but she totally went along with it. And I said, Christina, I want to share this while you're still able to take it in. I don't have the words to express how grateful we are for you as a human and a woman and a friend and as a beacon of light. I don't really have a more apt way to show you how I feel about the positive influence you've had on our work over the last several years. You were the first board member to both advisory boards and pretty much one of our first patients at the clinic. You have so graciously gifted us hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of your precious time and life energy. You've participated in literally every volunteer capacity for LCI and even invented new ways to contribute. You've often been our first and most poignant inspiration when Robin and the team and I are talking about planning anything for clinic and thinking about how something may impact the patient's experience. And as you have gotten sicker, I've watched your already devoted, indelible dedication to the advisory boards get even more fierce. Your light and your vision and your passion for making calm the best model of cancer care, but more importantly, making life with cancer better for other people, is contagious. And I promise to keep that fire in my heart and in my veins in the coming months and years so that we can bring that vision that we've set forth to build a better way of delivering cancer care into full reality, even when it gets hard. And then I thanked her and said that that I believe that the human soul moves on from lifetime to lifetime, but periodically pops by to check in on us. And I know that this might be different than what she believes, but that because of that, I wanted to share these words with her while she could still type them in and thank her. But I definitely think she's floating around with us. But, yeah.
So I wasn't planning on saying anything, but I have worked with Christina at Ravelry for the last many years, but really relatively new in her life compared to a lot of you. But we got together on Sunday night on Zoom because we're all over the country, and just spent some time talking about Christina. And I just wanted to share like the things that came out of that stood out for me, so that in that way our other Ravelry coworkers are here, because they very much would love to be here. I am just closer in proximity. So the biggest thing I think, or one of the biggest things that we all talked about and laughed about as we remembered, Christina was talking about her just wicked smart sense of humor. Like, just always so quick, and sometimes we didn't even get it. It was so, like, we'd be like, oh God, like 5 minutes later, we'd be like, that's really funny, but we totally missed it. And then for me personally, just her, what I want to carry forward is her listening. Last year I went through a divorce, and I told her I didn't want to take off my wedding ring because I'd been married 18 years and it was really hard to let go of that piece of me. And I'm wearing one of the rings she sent me because she said, when you're ready, just put these rings on. She was like, because, and I wasn't asking for that. Like I just mentioned it in passing. And she heard it, and a week later I got these rings in the mail, and she said, just when you're ready, maybe this will make you feel better to put something on there to show you the love that we have for you, and that's important too. And the other thing, she stayed with me off and on before COVID, when she was coming to Houston for treatments and things, and she became part of my family. I have a little boy Marlo's age and a 13-year-old. And she just, fit right in. The boys would get home and be like, where's Christina? But the thing she taught me, and the thing we do every night, and we will do every night forever and ever, is one night she just went, thumbs up, thumbs down. And we did thumbs up, thumbs down. And we will, I've cried through thumbs up, thumbs down all week, but we will do it every night. And she built a bridge between me and my boys in that way, because every day, even my 13-year-old will dig something up to say, when a lot of times the 13-year-old boy is like, it was fine, my day was okay. And so just her listening is the other thing that I will always carry with me, and that's something we'll have with us forever. So.
Anybody else who'd like to say something?
Most of you don't know me. I was Christina's meditation teacher. She came to me for mindfulness-based stress reduction 3 years ago and changed my life probably way more than I impacted hers. But I just wanted to share this with Marlo and her family. There was a time when she told me, Geeta, breath is not accessible, and the other practice we do in mindfulness is body scan, and as a cancer patient, of course, that's loaded. And she said, I can't reach anything. This was 3 years ago. And I told her to land where she can, and the next week she came and she said, my husband's warmth and my daughter's eyes. That's where I can land. And so I just want to honor that she lives through you, and she will always be here for us. And she continues to light so many more lives than you would ever know. She is so present in my classes, and she's such an inspiration that continues to happen. So huge, huge gratitude to all of you, and really a huge gratitude for lighting up this world. That light will never, ever fade. Thank you.
Anybody else?
The sky is crying.
I think Wes is going to share some words with us.
I'm going to try to. I'll probably be briefer than I intended because there'd be a lot of repetition at this point. Christina was the love of my life. She was a mad partner in everything we did. Partnership was so big in our vocabulary and the way we operated. She gifted me with this lovely young daughter here. And she made me a better person and a better father. I had a bunch of stuff written, and as I've been saying all day, it sounds very cliche, and it would be repeating what many of you said, but I wanted you to hear some of her words in a gift I found the other day. I had to go to the safety deposit box, and I found this that I put there for safekeeping. It is a journal she gave me on my second Father's Day, and it's from the point of view of Marlo. And for an entire year, she would secretly write in this journal at the end of the day the things we had done as a family and everything from Marlo's point of view. So I kept trying to come up with words of my own, but I think some of hers will do a better job of conveying her humor and her love for her family. This one's dated July 25th. And it says, "Dear Daddy, I don't want to alarm you, but something strange has happened. I haven't seen you anywhere lately except in Mom's phone. I think you might live there now. It's okay though. I still get so excited when I see your face. I like hearing you talk to me, especially when you say my name. You look and sound the same, just a little bit smaller. I do hope you come out of Mom's phone at some point. I'm not supposed to have it, and it makes me sad when I can't cuddle you. I love you. Marlo." This one here is from a trip to New York, which will live in infamy, and many of you may remember. It's from October 22nd. And it begins, "Dear Daddy, New York is pretty cool. Even after I got everyone sick, you guys still took me to a pumpkin farm. Sweet." And that really happened. We went up there and just laid the whole family out. First we looked at the pumpkins and displays from different stories, and then we looked at animals, silky chickens and goats and pigs. It was scary and exciting at the same time. I was glad you held me and kept me safe though. We saw a gorilla band too. They danced and held instruments. You shared a donut with me and we posed for pictures by the pumpkins. You wore an orange shirt that matched the pumpkins. I like the pictures of us together. I want to look back when I'm older and see all the fun stuff we did together as a family. I love you. And one last one that I read last night. It's called Car Snack. I love Target as much as the next gal, but sometimes it's just exhausting. We had a nice Target adventure today, but by the end I was ready to recharge. You were totally on my wavelength and got us some snacks for a little car picnic. I really love that you and Mommy sat in the back seat with me and shared. Your cookies were so buttery and fruity, and Mommy's were so chocolatey. Then I was thirsty, and you were prepared with a bottle of water for me. It was nice to recharge together as a family, and I like it when we do unusual things that are surprises and fun. I love you, Marlo." It goes on and on. She did that for a year in secret. I had no idea. Just so that I could read this in the future, share it with other people, and remember these times. And I think that's a testimony to who she was as a person. Everything she did was above and beyond and blew me away, and I will try and live up to that to the best I can. I know it was a fear of hers to die during the pandemic in particular. She feared with so many deaths that hers would go by unnoticed. I think the outpouring of support both here and in her final days shows otherwise. On Sunday we sent out a call through Jackie that if anyone wanted to send voicemails or voice text messages, we'd play them for her. She wasn't responsive, but we were listening. And I think I got more than 24 inside 10 minutes. Just my phone lit up instantly. And then from around the world, Dublin, Australia, all over the US. So I don't think that her fear was realized, that she will not be forgotten or overlooked. So thank you all for coming and for loving her and as much as I did. Thank you.
Thanks, Wes.
We mentioned earlier that, as her journey, she composed a song about her experiences with cancer. And the song is titled "Miles to Go." It was written and recorded in fall 2018 by Christina with the organization Austin Classical Guitar in partnership with the Livestrong Cancer Institute and UT. And this is what was written about it at the time. Christina received her cancer diagnosis in 2015 and had since been undergoing treatment at MD Anderson in Houston. The poetry and music Christina wrote for this song paints a picture of her frequent drives from Austin to Houston to receive treatment. She describes the experience of waiting for answers and for treatment while bearing the weight of the situation. Christina used the language of sewing, quilting, and knitting to convey her message of strength. And some of the piano samples in the song were provided by Marlo. And give us just a moment. We're going to get the speaker hooked up and we'll hear her song, which again is called "Miles to Go."
Is it okay if I put it on here? Yes. So if you get a little projection. Small speaker, sorry. Perfect. Thank you.
the same old question. I am stronger than miles to go, miles to go. I can bear the weight. I can bear the weight. I can turn me where I'm bend me where I'm torn. I can bear the weight. My body like a catchment passed around eternity. This is not the hope of ransom. They have called me out by sea. I can bear the weight. I can bear the weight. I can turn me where I'm weak. Bend me where I'm torn. I can bear the weight. Past the starlight again on the right. Time to take my answer home. Grab my quilt I made years ago. It reads miles to go, miles to go.
I want to thank everybody again for coming this afternoon. We have a opportunity to say goodbye here. Our experience with Christina doesn't end, but we can offer a final physical gesture by coming by the grave when we have flowers. If you don't feel comfortable, you can place the flower in the grave.
You're gonna go first. You pick anyone you want. Purple. Anybody else would like to come back? good. When is you need to make me comfortable, okay, kiddo? You want another one? You're good.
I'm good.
Okay. Just out of the way for a minute.